All right, peace. We're back. Street 16 podcast. Mike Barclift, Jeff McCOY, Marco Valencia. We are in Music Theory Studios, downtown Norfolk. Shout out to DJ Kee. And on the line, our special guest, she puts the S in special. Sister Kee Crawford on the line from home. Apparently, she couldn't make it today, and I have an image of her sitting on a couch with big white pillows with long cotton sleeves and ruffles around her wrists as she pets two white poodles with a feather duster on the side table of the couch. Am I correct?
No, actually, I'm sitting here in a Deadpool t-shirt and Mario pants, and my hair is a mess.
How about a screenshot?
No, not happening.
Pause. Well, thank you, sister. Last episode was really touching and moving. Kee shared some very, very private and emotional stories. And I did have two follow-up questions, which, pardon me, but they are sort of invasive. And the first question is, when you described yourself as a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 in mental health, and I asked you how many people knew that you considered yourself a 3, and you said 3 people. I asked, were any of them lovers, and I asked, were any of them family members? You said no. The question I had, which is a little invasive, but I was wondering, why is it that 3 of your regular friends knew this, but nobody that you were a lover or a relative of knew this? What was the reasoning behind that?
I think for me, because I'm such a protector over, obviously you're more protective over the people that you're in relationships with or your family. And obviously to expose that type of thing to the people that you're the closest to in that aspect, your family members, someone that you're in a relationship with, that's going to hurt them way more. You know what I mean? And they sometimes can't give you unbiased, advice because it's your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your boyfriend or husband or whatever. They can't. They're going to freak out. And sometimes you don't need, especially when you're going through stuff, I don't need the freak out. Sometimes I just need you to sit down and talk to me and give me logical, sound advice. And that's something that I know that my mom or dad definitely couldn't do because they're gonna panic. And especially my mom being a healthcare professional for almost 40 years.
All right, I have a comment about that, but first, how about a follow-up? Jeff?
So how do you feel is displaying that vulnerability to your loved ones and ones that are close to you? Is that does it come across? I mean, do you feel like you'd be perceived as weak, or, if you could elaborate on that a little more?
No, for me, it's not a weakness thing. For me, like I said, I don't know if you guys remember from last week when I was saying that at one point, I kind of went through that process and I was thinking about obviously doing something that wasn't appropriate. And the major thing that stopped me was I could never come up with a plan that could absolve the people that are closest to me from being hurt. So even when I'm thinking about myself, I'm still thinking about them more. And so for me, it's like a thing where I know that they're going to panic. They're going to be upset. They're going to be hurt. And once again, it's not even me thinking about me. It's me worried about them.
This is what I would say to that as a parent. If my child had a crisis in their life that they hid from me, and their reasoning was, well, I didn't want to hurt you and I didn't want you to panic. When I heard that answer, I would be very, very frustrated with that answer, because my response would be, give me a little more credit than that. How do you know I would not panic? How do you know I would not have responded in the correct way and giving you the support that you need? How can you deny me of an opportunity to help you beforehand, not afterwards? What would you say to that?
Oh, and I can understand that statement completely. I really can. I respect it. And for me, it's just I found another solution that could also give me what I needed at the time. Because what I didn't need was anybody feeling sorry. I didn't need my mother as a hover mother. So I know I would get 37 calls a day. You know what I mean? If her not stopping everything she's doing to fly out and sit up under me. And that's not what I needed at the time.
I have one more question, but first a follow-up. Marco?
So you don't think that your friends actually felt sorry for you?
Of course I do. But I selected friends that I knew would help me navigate that situation the way I needed to navigate that situation. Because at the time, it's not about everybody else. It's about what I needed at the time. And I selected the people that could give me, what I needed to get through it.
Yo, I completely understand, because when I'm going through things, look, I call Mike, right? Or I call my friend Alan. But I completely understand what you're talking about, because I don't even want to talk to my family about nothing that got to do with me.
And don't get it twisted. My parents and, my brothers and everybody is usually involved in most things in my life. But at that particular time, I did not need that type of love. That's not what I needed.
All right. Before I give you the last question, last follow-up. Do none of your lovers know? Because they just never wasn't really that guy.
Probably. More than likely, yeah.
All right. Enough about that. The creepy old man is done for the day, unless, you find this next question even worse, which may be the case. But, respond however you like. But
Okay.
I've become aware of a person who took their own life recently, and I did not know this person, but I knew at least two people who knew her, and I spoke to both of them in private and just kind of listened. I know two people that I can recall that I've known that also did the same thing. And I would like to ask, how did that affect you, if any, and can you share if so?
Are you talking about my friend?
Yes.
Goodness. You threw me for one. This is a morning. Okay. She was an amazing human. And the hardest part about it is I can relate in some aspects of what it feels like to be popular and to have tons of people who you can walk into any event or in any space and you've got 37 people that want to run up and hug you and, snap a picture with you and, talk about how cute your outfit is and how great your hair is and still feel lonely. And that's where she was. I'm sorry. Her birthday just passed. Goodness. Ooh, you got me with this one. This one's hard. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good.
It hurts and it's hard. And it shows you that sometimes no matter how many people are around you, no matter how many people claim to love you, if you just not in that space, you're not in that space. And this world is crowded, but sometimes it can feel very, very lonely. I wasn't there, none of us were there. And the messages that she sent to one of our friends right before, regardless of how many messages said, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow, you know what I mean? We're all here for you. Nothing stopped her. people have different theories on what suicide is. You hear people saying it's selfish and it's weak and it's that. Yeah, it's selfish. I do believe that, but I also wholeheartedly believe that with us being human beings, we try to be solution-based. And sometimes it's a solution to a hurt that can't be healed. It's a solution to problems that you can't see a foreseeable fix for. And when somebody decides that that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do.
Marco.
And that's all I really have for that.
All right. Well, what I was going to say is in the last episode, I said suicide is definitely not a weakness, right? You got to be strong to do something like that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I just couldn't be like, all right, when I pull this trigger, I'm out. I mean, I've been taught, like, yeah, there's a heaven in the sky, and I'm going to be with my loved ones and everything, but how do we really know that? Nobody even came back and told us. Yeah, I came from the dead, yo. But the hardest part is losing people, right? And July 4th just came up, and it's my grandmother's birthday every July 4th, so I make Facebook posts, you know what I'm saying, with her picture. I just printed I just put up a picture with me and her together when I was a little boy kissing her with my curly hair. That's why they called me a girl. But, I mean, it's hard. And I just lost my uncle the 2 days before July 4th. So July 4th, yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. July 4th is now going to be a bad holiday for me, you know, because there's so many reminders, and I was close.
But it doesn't have to be. You don't have to make it a bad holiday. You make it a day that you celebrate the people that you love. Like, it's your perspective. It's how you look at it.
True.
You don't have to mope that day. You can literally eat their favorite foods, drink their favorite drinks, get an Airbrush t-shirt if you want. You can make it positive if you choose to.
True. But it was just hard for me because me and my grandmother were really, really close.
Jeff?
Key, how you feel about the Kiki challenge?
I love it. I love it so much. I've been tagged in so many videos. Last night when I was at work, I literally they played the song, and about 7 girls ran up to me and was standing around me, like, dancing and singing. It's great. Like, Kiki's a winner right now. Thank you, Drake. All Kiki's a winning.
One high note of that trash-ass album. Good to hear. All right, Key.
Is that all Kiki's are winning?
Well, as it goes, you have had your spout with Mike. Everybody knows you hate me. And it goes on day to day on how you feel about Marco. At this current point in time, who is your favorite cast member?
I'm not answering that.
What, DJ Khaled?
Yes, definitely, wholeheartedly. Never had any beef with him. He stays in his lane. He minds his business. He don't bother me. He smiles when he sees me. It's definitely DJ Khaled.
Nice.
Way to break even. Key, as always, it's a pleasure talking to you. We look forward to seeing you next session and out in the streets. All right?
I was exhausted. Sorry, guys.
No,
Love you,
recharge.
baby. And look, you take care of yourself now, okay?
Definitely.
Word of
You
mouth.
guys, too.
And go brush that tooth.
My teeth, that tooth, I have all my teeth, thank you very much, and they're always clean.
Thanks, baby.
Bye, guys.
Hello.
All right.
All right, friends, we'll be right back after this break. It's the Street 16 podcast.
Pause.
Good work, guys. That gives me good content. All right, we come right back.